Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, we're going to react to forgotten gadgets of the past that everybody wanted. Now, when I think back, there's just several things, like several stages. Like I remember when the iPod first came out, it was a complete game changer. Being able to have 1,000 songs, because I remember the first iPod, it was about I think it was 4 gigabytes in capacity, and each song being a meg, so that was like 1,000 songs you could have. It just completely changed everything, because before then, the limit was about sort of 15 songs that you could have on a CD. But even then, having a Sony Discman, I remember having a Sony Discman, it was just incredible being able to walk around. I think I had a Sony Discman when I was about 8 or 9 or something like that. And I loved that thing. But when you walked with it quickly, it would skip, the CD would skip. So it was kind of, it wasn't very reliable in that way. And if you scratched the CD, it wasn't really usable. And I remember having a Sony Walkman when I was like a 5 or 6 year old. I think my first and only tape was Michael Jackson, Bad. Yeah, that was awesome as well. But then you'd have to rewind the tape. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of nostalgia in this video.
Life is full of futuristic, must-have gadgets that have left an indelible mark on our world. These devices not only shaped the way we lived, but also became the foundation for the gadgets that we can't live without today. So these are the forgotten gadgets from the past that everyone wanted.
All right, let's see some history.
The pocket transistor radio is a true classic, specifically the Regency TR1. Invented by Texas Instruments in the 1950s, it was a game changer when it came to listening to the radio, allowing people for the first time to take their music with them wherever they went. Before the TR1, radios were bulky and mostly confined to the home, but not this pocket transistor radio. It was compact, battery-powered, and incredibly portable.
I love the look of it with the little gold dial and, the gold lettering with this sort of baby blue, casing. It's really nice.
Kids could ride their bike around town, hang out in their treehouse, or just sit on the front stoop and listen to their favorite music or radio show. The Regency TR1 was a catalyst for the growing popularity of portable electronics.
I wonder how much
a new device that transformed the way we interacted with our television sets was the remote control. In the 1950s, Zenith introduced the first practical TV remote, aptly named the Lazy Bones. This groundbreaking invention allowed viewers to change channels and adjust the volume without getting up from their couches. The only problem was that these remotes were plugged into the TV via a long wire, but at least you didn't have to get up and cross the room to turn the dial. This new technology paved the way for wireless remotes and more advances that can be found in many of the smart devices.
Wow, look at the shape of it. It doesn't look anything close to the remotes that we have today. It's like the roundness of it.
We use today.
It looks like an egg, doesn't it?
Recollection Road is proud to partner with Legacy Box. Watch until the end of this video to find. Another milestone in portable entertainment was the Sony TV8. Released in 1960, this portable TV was ahead of its time, weighing just 13 pounds. First off, it was the first complete
Just 13 pounds. Was that like 6-7 kilos? That's quite heavy.
TV, and it featured a tiny black and white screen and an antenna that you could extend for better reception. While the screen was small and the picture quality was basic by today's standards, it was a revelation at the time, so the device was expensive at $250. But it allowed people to watch their favorite shows on the go, and it could be powered by plugging it in or using a 6-volt battery pack.
Wow, so it worked in the car too. That's pretty cool.
Who remembers the Phillips battery shaver by Phillips? In the 1950s, this gadget made shaving on the go possible. Its compact design and battery-powered operation made it something that many busy men wanted to have. The device was connected by a cord to a battery pack that doubled as a small mirror. It all came in a nice carrying case that could be packed easily into a suitcase or briefcase. The Phillips ensured that you always looked your best, no matter where you were.
Yeah, because I think before then you probably had to just have an old school razor, or maybe a version of this that you had to plug in. So yeah, this would definitely be a game changer.
What could make playing outside with friends even better? How about a set of Sears Walkie Talkies? This made playing a game of cops and robbers in the 1960s even more exciting. These handheld devices would use the Citizen Band Channel 14 and operated at up to 3/4 of a mile. What kid didn't want a set of these? The possibilities of exploring and creating adventures with these walkie-talkies made them a must-have Christmas gift.
Yeah, I remember having a walkie-talkie very briefly, just being able to talk to your mate and not being in the same room as them. Obviously, because I didn't grow up with a mobile phone, it was the closest thing we had to a phone, really.
It seems that new gadgets were all about being portable and pocket-sized. The Kodak Instatic camera was no different. Released in the 1960s, this camera brought photography to the masses because it was so simple to use. The Instatic used film cartridges, making it incredibly easy and convenient for everyday photography. It was truly the first point-and-shoot camera, making it easier than ever to document a family vacation or any special occasion. The Instatic camera is an icon that paved the way for more modern photography using smartphones, especially with the social media app Instagram.
Is it me, or did devices from back then look so cool and aesthetic? Look at this. I love the design. The font, very sleek. Don't know what it is about designs from, back then.
With the social media app Instagram. The Armatron Robot was released in the late 1970s, and it was one of the first consumer robots available, albeit a fun toy for kids. The Armatron, which was sold at Radio Shack, featured a crane and claw-like arm that could pick up some small objects, which provided hours of entertainment for children. While its capabilities were pretty limited, operating the joysticks made you feel like you were at the forefront of robotics.
Yeah, having one of those would have been cool, but I reckon it would have been expensive. How much did this thing cost? Yeah, this today would probably be like £100 or $100, I reckon.
Let's fast forward to the 1980s now and take a look at the iconic Sony Walkman. This portable cassette player was actually released in 1979, but really made its mark in the US during the 1980s. It fundamentally changed the way we listen to music. With its sleek design and the ability to play cassette tapes, it gave people the freedom to choose the music and play it anywhere they wanted. It was really a cultural phenomenon. It was an extension of the pocket transistor radio and a precursor to the way we listen to music from our phones today. The 1980s introduced us to the world of instant communication, especially when it comes to Motorola beepers. These devices, sometimes referred to as pagers, were first created by Motorola in 1964. But during the 1980s, beepers were equipped with alphanumeric displays that allowed people to receive short messages and phone numbers wherever they were. While this may seem rudimentary by today's standards, they were revolutionary at the time. Some professions relied heavily on these devices, and by just clipping one on your belt, it made you feel a little more important.
So I'm guessing the pager, each pager had a number associated with it, and if you got a beep, it was from somebody who had your number, and then you could call the person. Is that how pages, because obviously there's no screen, so you can't send a text message, or was there a screen on pages?
Speaking of the future, the 1980s introduced us to another new era of communication with the Motorola Dynatac mobile phone. While these early mobile phones were bulky and very expensive by today's standards, they were a significant step towards the compact and feature-packed smartphones we rely on today. Everyone wanted one of these phones, and that may be because they were featured in movies like Wall Street and on television shows like Saved by the Bell. The Motorola Dynatac offered the freedom of making phone calls from anywhere, laying the foundation for the mobile revolution.
Man, it reminds me of the 3310, when the Nokia 3310 came in. This was like 1999. My dad had one. It was so cool. Just seeing a phone like that shape with games on it. It had, remember the game Snake?
The success of the Kodak Instamatic camera. Kodak brought us another revolution in the form of disposable cameras, starting in the 1980s. The Kodak Fling was an inexpensive, single-use camera inside a cardboard box. The Fling was lightweight, affordable, and required no technical expertise to use. These disposable cameras became perfect for one-off events, like vacations and parties. Therefore, people bought them in droves. Since then, disposable cameras have been equipped with a flash, and they now come in hard plastic cases. But their popularity has dramatically decreased ever since cell phones started to become equipped with cameras.
Yeah, the cell phone industry just destroyed so many other ones.
Last but not least, who could forget the Nintendo Game Boy? Released in 1989, this handheld video game system took the world by storm, and every kid wanted one for Christmas. It featured a monochrome screen and a library of iconic games like Tetris and Super Mario Land. The Game Boy was a cultural phenomenon, and certainly a pioneer in portable gaming. For just $90, the power of Nintendo could now fit right in your pocket, just like many of the other gadgets on this list.
The Game Boy
Let me know in the
Color
comments if I missed anything, and make sure to sign up for the Recollection Road newsletter using the link in the description.
Man, nostalgia, such a powerful thing, you know. Kind of, it's a weird thing. It doesn't make me happy. I mean, it makes me happy and sad at the same time. Like, happy to, you know, be reminded of these memories, but sad that those days are so, like, long ago, like simpler times and stuff. But yeah, the Game Boy. I remember when the Game Boy Color came out, it was like 98, something like that, 99. I really wanted one because I played on it with, like, my cousin had one. But then the PlayStation came out like a few months after. And yeah, I had to get a PlayStation. I got Crash Bandicoot with it. Like, who remembers Crash Bandicoot? Great game. But man, yeah, the Walkman, those were the days. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.